It's a mentality we need to change. We just we got to stop actually on the first possession. We stepped out of bounds. We didn't finish off the play, and that kind of set the tone for the entire second half. Their aggressiveness picked up as they got momentum. You find a way to score a couple baskets, maybe you put them away, and they never get that confidence and flow that we allowed them to have coming out of the break in the second half. And it's a couple games in a row now. And, you know, you look at it was 15 at Creighton, very easily could have been 11 if we would have finished the half the right way. But we came out and did not play smart in the second half. I don't think it's got anything to do with playing hard. It's got everything to do with being more physical. And, you know, our first shot defense, you know, has been pretty solid all year long. But the disturbing trend right now is the amount of second chance opportunities teams are getting against us. And we have a checklist of 12 things on our defense, and we accomplished 11 of them. We had 11 green check marks in the first half, and we had 11 red in the second. And it's hard. And, you know, when you go out and play probably your best 20 minutes of the season in one half and flip it and probably play your worst 20 minutes in the same game, that's hard to do. But, you know, I talked about it in the locker room today. What do we need to do to find a way to get us coming out with better urgency? Is it getting them out there later? Is it going through warm-ups harder? Is it getting into defensive slides? We worked on the beginning of the second half today. That was a big part of practice in our scrimmage and our live portion. And it's just got to be something where, again, when you get a team down like we had them the other night, you gotta keep them down. You gotta stomp on them, and we just gotta find a way to get that killer mentality that I talked about the other night after the game. And you know, we're gonna keep working at it. We're gonna keep practicing hard, and we're gonna get it right. And you know, the guys that are gonna go out there and compete, those are the ones that are gonna be on the floor. You know, wasn't just one guy the other night. You know, to a man, we didn't have the blockouts that we needed, the physical blockouts. When we go through the game plan, the scout discipline, you know, when you talk about when that shot goes up, they're going to fly by. And if you turn and look 1 second late, they're going to be by you. And that's exactly what happened. So, you know, you got to build on the positives. You got to look at the things that you're doing well, which we did plenty of in those first 20 minutes, but we got to find and sustain it. We have to be a more consistent basketball team right now.
When you say you worked on the beginning of second halves in practice, what do you do with that? How do you simulate that?
We put 20 minutes on the clock, and we put a score up there, and we came out and said, this is the second half, play better. And, you know, that's what you do. You work on different situations. You work on late game situations. You work on coming out of the locker room in the second half and coming out and getting off to a better start. First 5 minutes of the game are very important to get the tempo in the game where you need it to be. And, you know, you always talk the first five, last five of each half are so important to go out there and set the tone. And we did it in the first half. We did not do it in the second half.
Is finding the killer instinct something you can translate in practice, or is it really just kind of like
You can do everything you can. I mean, I give our scout team a lot of credit for going out there and, you know, we talked to them, move on your screens. They're going to move on their screens on Sunday. You know, Matar, we told them, almost body check them as they're coming through, you know, just to prepare the guys for the physicality. You know, are you going to prepare exactly for what Minnesota has? No, you don't. We don't have that type of length across the board on our team. But the black team, our scout team's doing an unbelievable job of going out there and playing hard every day in practice and doing everything they can to prepare us. And again, when you look at this disturbing trend we've had the last few games, we had a great stretch this season where we, I think, averaged a plus 13 on the glass over a 4-game stretch. We have to find a way to get that back. And it starts on Sunday, because I promise you, they're coming. You know, I've seen that team. I know that team as well as any, because I had a kid that played for them for 4 years. And, you know, I know one thing's for sure. They're having hard physical practices right now, and they're bringing it on Sunday, and we better be ready for it.
Speaking of that physicality, have you noticed anything different with the way teams are allowed to defend K-State?
Yeah, I thought K-State was getting held, you know, a little bit, and you know, we need to be better with our pressure releases. I thought we handled that really well in the first half. K-State wasn't the benefactor of a lot of it. CJ, I thought had as good a 20 minutes as he's had this year. I thought he cut very well getting into the paint. Sam had a very forceful cut to the basket where he got Jawan and one in the second half. But you know, if teams are going to get out and pressure us, you got to use that against them. We did it for 20 minutes. We did not do it well in the second half.
With that being said, do you talk to him about controlling his emotions when he gets frustrated?
Absolutely, yeah, and that's a big part of it. And you have to do everything you can to fight through it, play through it, because K-State is very capable in a 2 or 3 minute stretch of making 4 or 5 in a row. And you just got to keep playing. You know, again, we got to do a better job of finding him. We have to be more patient on our dribble handoffs up top. That's where he and Derek have developed such a great chemistry. And if they were going to get out in pressure and deny him, he found a way to get to the basket where he was one of the most efficient players in the country a year ago. So we need to do a better job of being patient as opposed to going to the backside of the floor We need to see that all the way through. So we got Casey on a lot of late cuts last year when he was at the basket, and he's got a very high finishing rate when he gets there.
Minnesota's, I think, had 7 blocks, and then Michigan State's the top 40 in block percentage. What's kind of the balance between being aggressive, going to the rim, but also making sure you're not getting those block transition opportunities?
Yeah, I mean, as we all know with Michigan State, that's where it starts. It starts in transition. You have to be smart at the rim, smarter than we've been. Especially the game that I point to more than that is Creighton, where we took 18 contested rim shots. We've been really good in that area, but we took too many of them in Creighton. And as the game went on against Minnesota, we took really good ones in the first half. I thought we pressed a little bit as the game went on those last 20 minutes, but Michigan State, they're going to make it pay. If you don't get back, that's where it starts with them, and then you have to finish the possession, with a strong two-hand rebound. That was another theme as we went after, I think, 4 of them with one hand, and we either threw it out of bounds or got fouled or they came right over top of us. So, that's a big thing against this Michigan State team, get back in transition and find a way to finish it off.
With the the first shot defense and the offensive rebounds that have been an issue, is there anything that stood out like in film as why that's been a problem after it wasn't the first couple games?
We're not physical enough right now. That's what it boils down to. I'd love to give you 10 reasons why, but that's it. I mean, you got to be more physical. You have to take more pride in it. You got to be sick of getting punked at some point, and that's what's happened the last couple games.
3-point shooting, the kids have struggled the last couple of games, like 7-40 over the last 2. Is that, I think it's just a bit of a slump, or is there more reason for concern than that?
Well, the first half, again, we took 6 threes. We got into the paint and shot 58%. And, second half, again, the cuts weren't as sharp. They weren't as forceful as they were in the first 20 minutes, and that forced us to take some tougher threes, and especially when they went on the run and got up, we were forced to take, a few more contested ones out there. But, that first half, again, there's a lot of things we can build off and grow from with our offense, with the efficiency that we had. Creighton, obviously, that's what they force you into doing. That's their defense, is trying to take away the 3. And when you get down 30, you start pressing and taking some of those. So, again, just got to get back to a full 40 minutes because, again, when you shoot 58%, you show you're certainly capable of going out there and doing good things. We just need to get back to that. Good? Okay. Thanks, guys.